Welcome to Windows on the World with me, Mark Windows. Reports of your death were greatly exaggerated then.
As soon as I was going out the door, she says, "All right, Johnny Delirious, you go outside that door, you're a dead man."
Is it a bit of a change from Richard and Judy for you?
I've come home.
Workfare isn't a job, Ian, okay? If you're listening, workfare isn't a job, it's slavery. This is Mark Windows with Neil Morrissey for the People's Voice. In your opinion, do you think the jury was led?
It's not mine to say.
Very diplomatic. Tell the viewers a bit about what happened to you.
Well, they bribed 3 criminals to come in and give hearsay.
If a bomb went off in London and took 92 lives, yeah, would you want to be on the payroll of that?
It's all based on models and projections.
It's all over, bother shouting.
In order to get me in prison, they probably broke, a couple dozen laws.
Free Yolanda. Y'all planted drugs on Yolanda, and we're going to get her released and get the crooked cops busted.
That gave all the officers time for their adrenaline to slow down so we wouldn't get shot.
Just for the viewers out there who may not know about this story, when did you discover this pyramid?
In April of 2005, I first came to little Bosnian town of Visoko.
When you drive someone to take their own life, like the CSA have done, I mean, that's an abomination.
Thanks for being on Windows on the World.
Peace to London.
The rest is history, and everybody called me Delirious after that.
Bringing you cutting-edge news, empowering information, and no conspiracy theories. So convince the sceptical public about geoengineering.
Okay, well basically the weather has been experimented with since 1928. There was a process for producing artificial fogs, a US patent. Like I say, 1928, so we're just under 90 years of weather modification experiments.
They've got a warrant to search for and remove you from your place of residence, and have they also arrested your wife? Is that right?
That's right, they did it.
We have in the studio David Compan, NHS electrician just released after being sectioned under the Mental Health Act. If you weren't with anybody, you'd have just disappeared. Nobody would know where you are, and you can be detained indefinitely.
That's right. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David. Our next guest, Nasrin, was evicted from her own property. This was due to a management company issuing charges which she disputed.
A lady called for assistance from the police and she's now been arrested, handcuffed, took out of her own home.
The student loans, the debt book has been sold. All of what we've talked about is coming your way.
Sergeant?
Have a seat. I don't actually necessarily going to a police station at this time.
What has she been arrested for?
Well, that video was very shocking because Nasrin was actually peacefully occupying her own property and she was arrested for breach of the peace in her own house.
It's very painful to watch because in that instance I realised something terrible is happening in this country.
We did a show about people getting their doors kicked in by the police on behalf of private interests without proper court warrants, and this is actual fact. This is happening.
It's illegal and it's corrupt. And you have to ask yourself, why are the people who are willing to bust in people's doors, what the hell happened to them?
You actually called me as they were smashing the door. Yeah. We actually got a phone call into their press office, and first of all they said the police would never do that. However, they've been caught on video doing just that. The second time we called, they said if the police did that, it would be criminal damage. So you've just witnessed criminal damage by the police.
So if I am a journalist, how do I go home at night and sleep knowing that I have fed the people a load of crop?
I mean, I'm under a charge now at the moment of trespass.
Trespassing in your own property. Yeah. It's like Nasrin getting arrested for breach of the peace in a lounge, you know. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
That is why I am happy to do an interview for the people's voice, because that's what we are, the people's voice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I started getting these spontaneous out-of-body experiences. When you come back from them, you feel very refreshed and you have like loads of energy. But there's also a side of you that goes, oh, I'm not here again. You know, it's because it's rather dull after that, isn't it?
Because actually you're kind of confined to a materialistic or physical world.
I started by asking them if there was a possibility that 50,000 years ago the first Homo sapiens set sail from Australia, and if humans have been present there for at least 400,000 years, and perhaps even close to 1 million.
Oh yes, definitely. We are absolutely convinced that's the case. The only equivocation we would now add is after more research, the 50,000 years would be a bare minimum.
You, I suspect, and I and others are being targeted by this electromagnetic treatment that they're directing to those who are speaking out unpleasant truths that the government doesn't want you to hear.
All we can do, Jim, is keep getting the truth out there and try and protect ourselves. Jay Weidner, author, filmmaker and Hermetic scholar, director of the documentaries Kubrick's Odyssey, Infinity, The Ultimate Trip and the feature film Shasta. But first, what happened next?
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Very feisty Buzz Aldrin there, but did he go to the moon? This is what we're going to try and find out.
So there would be no one that you would want to hire more in 1964 than Stanley Kubrick.
I'm not going to give my real name on air because I'm regulated by the Law Society.
Okay.
You get sellotape, you put it straight over to fingerprint, peel the sellotape off, put it on any smooth surface you want, and you'll get an exact impression of the fingerprint. Not 100% kosher as the first one, but enough for a forensic expert to find your print that will add you up. And that's just simply how it's done.
What you guys are saying is absolutely right.
Welcome back to Windows on the World. Now, following yesterday's exclusive on the London Underground strike, we have a further video update filmed earlier today.
And some stations are closed.
We're up here at Finsbury Park on the second day of the strike. It's been an absolutely solid strike. RMT membership is 98% on strike, TSSA 95% on strike. Many ASLEF members refusing to cross picket lines.
We're with Steve Headley, Assistant General Secretary of the RMT Union. We're in the UK and we're live. Hello, Steve.
Hello, and just like to say thank you first of all for letting me come on your show. It's one of the few opportunities I think that you get on the media and have a fair say and a balanced approach, so thank you for that.
That's what we're here for, Steve, and I do fully support what you're doing in the respect of these ticket office closures. We're talking about a very old system here. A lot of it needs replacing, doesn't it?
Well, that's another irony of it. They've just spent £100 million give at the Bombardier for a signalling system that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because the signalling system that they tried to put in wasn't, the tunnels were too deep. It couldn't work, the radio communications on it couldn't work. So they've just paid out that. Now that's 5 years of savings, because they'd save about 20 million quid a year if they brought in these ticket office closures. That's 5 years of savings down the drain.
As this show goes on, we're going to talk about how this influences the banking system, the police, all the systems of law and order, education. Everything we're being told is basically being filtered through the Saturnian cult, if you look into it.
Yeah, and it's the secret cult behind the Jovian cult. So the exoteric religions of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism appear to be Jovian cults. So they worship Jehovah, which is Jupiter, but actually they don't. They worship Saturn.
Everything you do now is a crime.
The legislation is absolutely off the charts.
Utterly bonkers.
My God, they're listening to us. I've been mind controlled. Help, get me out of here. Only joking.
Reversal of the poles. In the passenger side, there will always